You know that feeling, right?
Mm.
When you use a new gadget or maybe an app and it just works.
Mm-hmm.
Like you instantly get it. No manual needed. It just feels natural.
Yeah, intuitive.
But then, oh boy, the flip side. You wrestle with some clunky website or, I don't know, a ticket machine that seems designed purely to frustrate you.
We've all been there.
Have you ever really stopped and wondered why? Why some tech feels like an extension of your hand and other times it's just a fight?
That's a great question.
Well, today that's exactly what we're diving into. We're exploring the really fascinating world of human-computer interaction, HCI for short.
Mm-hmm.
We've gathered your sources covering everything really from the core ideas to the tools people use and how it plays out in the real world, our mission to pull out the key insights for you.
Sounds good.
We want to show you why good design is often invisible, but is shaping your world constantly, even when you don't notice it.
Absolutely. And the sources, they really lay out that journey well. From the why HCI became so vital to the how it's actually done. It really is about making technology work for us, not the other way around.
Okay, so let's start there. Let's unpack the why. I mean, computers originally were these huge, complicated things, right? Only specialists could use them.
Exactly. Massive machines filling rooms.
So what happened? What was the big shift that made HCI move from an academic niche to something totally essential for, well, everyone?
Yeah, the change has been pretty dramatic. You're spot on. Early computers were absolutely the domain of highly trained experts. Expensive, huge, mostly in labs or big companies.
Command lines and stuff.
Command lines, punch cards sometimes. You needed very specific arcane knowledge. But look at today. Computing power is everywhere.
In our pockets, yeah.
Pockets, cars, appliances, you name it. And the crucial difference is who's using them now.
Yeah.
It's everybody. The range of knowledge, the experience level, it's incredibly broad. And the vast majority of people using tech today, they haven't had intensive, specialized training. They just want to, get something done.
Which makes HCI absolutely critical, doesn't it? It's not just nice to have. It's essential for designing systems that are clear, intuitive, usable for people with all sorts of backgrounds and tech skills.
Paramount, really. It has to make sense almost instantly. People need to focus on their goal, not on figuring out how to use the tool.
So how does it do that? How does HCI make things intuitive?
Well, it cleverly takes advantage of our everyday knowledge, how we understand the physical world.
Like how a light switch works.
Exactly that kind of thing. How a door handle works, physical buttons, cause and effect. HCI tries to map those familiar concepts onto digital interfaces. So the goal, the real sign of excellent HCI,
is when you don't notice it.
Precisely. You shouldn't even have to think about the interface itself. The interaction needs to be so clear, so natural, that the technology just fades away, letting you do what you need to do.
Okay, let's make this more concrete. Where does this kind of invisible, intuitive design actually show up in, regular daily life? Stuff you might not even think of as using a computer.
Oh, they're everywhere once you start looking. Think about the ATM you use at the bank.
Okay.
Or the machine that makes your coffee at the office, or the one you buy train tickets from at the station.
Right, those vending machines.
All classic examples. They guide you through steps, use clear visuals, familiar words, designed so pretty much anyone can walk up and use them without needing a manual.
Makes sense. But it goes beyond just personal convenience, doesn't it? What about in bigger settings? Businesses, industry, places where maybe the stakes are higher.
Oh, absolutely. It's foundational there. Think about any business using software. If the systems are well designed, staff aren't pulling their hair out.
Happier employees, more productive.
Exactly. More content, more efficient. But then you get into what we call safety critical systems, and the importance just skyrockets.
Like what?
Power plant control rooms, air traffic control centers, medical equipment interfaces.
Okay, yeah, serious stuff.
In those situations, a design flaw, something confusing or misleading on the interface, that's not just an annoyance. It can lead to catastrophic errors.
Wow.
Potentially costing lives, causing massive damage. Good HCI in those fields is, quite literally, a life and death matter.
That really puts it in perspective. And I guess this importance also ties into accessibility, making sure tech works for everyone, including people with disabilities.
Yes, and that's a really vital part of HCI. It's a core principle. Designing for usability often inherently means designing for accessibility.
How so?
Well, the fundamental aim of HCI is to create systems that are safe, usable, and efficient for everyone. That naturally includes people with different abilities, different levels of expertise. If you focus on clarity, simplicity, providing multiple ways to interact, You often end up creating a system that's much more accessible for people with disabilities without even specifically targeting it, although targeted accessibility design is also crucial.
Okay, so it's built into the philosophy.
It really should be. It's about universal design principles, ultimately.
So given all this, the impact on daily life, on business, on safety, on accessibility, what does this mean for the companies actually making software? It must be more than just, making things look nice. It affects their success, right?
Oh, massively. There's a direct, undeniable link to the bottom line. Good HCI isn't optional for software companies. It's a top priority.
Why? It's because people like it more.
Well, think about it. If a software product is confusing, frustrating, hard to use, people just won't use it. Certainly not by choice.
They'll find an alternative.
Exactly, or they just won't buy it in the first place. Sales suffer. In today's market, a smooth, intuitive user experience isn't a bonus feature, it's table stakes. It's a fundamental for a product to even compete, let alone succeed.
And I suppose a big part of that is dealing with what you call the untrained user.
Precisely.
I mean, seriously, when was the last time you read a software manual cover to cover?
Exactly. Nobody does that anymore, right? The expectation has totally flipped.
You download an app, you expect to figure it out in minutes.
Within minutes, yeah. You expect to understand the main functions almost immediately. And that's where HCI comes in. It gives designers the principles, the techniques, the tools they need to create interfaces that are obvious, that are easy to learn, that don't need a manual. It's all about designing for that instant understanding.
Okay, so we've established the why it's so critical, and we've seen the impact. Let's get into the how. How do designers actually build these intuitive experiences? What are the key tools and technologies in their toolkit?
Right, it's quite a varied toolkit, actually. First up, you have tools specifically for UI/UX design and prototyping. These are crucial.
Like what sort of tools?
Things like Adobe XD or Figma, maybe Sketch for Mac users or UXPin. These aren't just drawing programs. They let designers quickly mock up how an app or website will look and feel.
So you can click through them, kind of?
Yeah, exactly. You can create interactive prototypes, map out user flows, test navigation, see if the layout makes sense. You can even test these prototypes with real users very early on.
Ah, so you catch problems before writing code.
Precisely. It's all about iterating fast, testing ideas, getting feedback early. Tools like UXPin even let you add quite complex interactions, variables, animations, making the prototype feel very close to the final product. Figma is great for collaboration, being web-based. Adobe XD bundles a lot of features together. Sketch has a strong legacy, especially on Mac. They each have their strengths, but the goal is similar. Visualize and test the experience.
Okay, prototyping tools. What else?
Then you have your essential image and graphics editors, your Adobe Photoshop and Adobe Illustrator.
The classics.
Right. Photoshop is the king for editing images, photo retouching, creating detailed pixel-based visuals. Illustrator is vector-based, perfect for logos, icons, illustrations, graphics that need to scale without losing quality.
So these handle the visual polish, the look and feel.
Absolutely. HCI isn't just about flow and function. The visual design, the clarity of icons, the choice of imagery, that's all part of making an interface understandable and appealing. These tools are vital for crafting those visual elements.
Makes sense. So you've prototyped the flow, designed the visuals. Now you need to actually build it, right? Code it.
Exactly. And for that, developers rely on text editors and IDE's integrated development environments.
Okay, what are some examples there?
There are many, but sources mention tools like Brackets, which is lightweight and good for web design with live previews. Atom was popular, known for being very customizable with packages, though maybe not the fastest. Sublime Text is another one, known for being really smooth and responsive.
And then more powerful ones.
Yes, like WebStorm. That's a full-blown IDE, specifically powerful for JavaScript development. It understands JavaScript, TypeScript, HTML, CSS, popular frameworks like React or Angular.
What does an IDE give you that a simpler editor doesn't?
Well, things like intelligent code completion, advanced debugging tools, integration with version control like Git, database tools. It's a much more comprehensive environment designed to make developers highly productive and help them catch errors. It helps translate that carefully crafted design into robust working code efficiently.
Got it. And finally, the actual web technologies themselves, the languages and libraries.
Crucial building blocks, yes. For the web, JavaScript is fundamental. It's the language that runs in the browser to make pages interactive.
Clicking buttons, seeing things change without reloading.
All that dynamic stuff, yeah. It's fast, it runs on the user's machine, which is good for responsiveness. Then you have libraries built on JavaScript, like jQuery.
Heard of that one.
Right. Its motto was, write less, do more. It simplified a lot of common JavaScript tasks, especially manipulating the web page and handling browser differences, though modern JavaScript has caught up in many ways. Still, it made web development much easier for a long time.
And for the styling,
Yeah.
making it look good.
That's CSS, cascading style sheets. But to make writing CSS more efficient and organized, developers often use preprocessors like Sass.
The sass.
Yeah, Sass lets you use programming concepts like variables, nesting, and functions within your CSS. It helps write cleaner, more maintainable style code, especially for large projects. It compiles down to regular CSS that the browser understands.
So all these tools, prototyping, graphics, coding environments, languages, they all work together to build that seamless experience we talked about.
Exactly. It's a whole ecosystem supporting the journey from idea to intuitive, functional interface.
Okay, this is great context on the tools. But let's bring it back to solving real problems.
Yeah.
How does this all come together in practice? That railway station example from the sources seems like a perfect case study.
It really is. It paints a picture of, well, chaos, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. You've got the clerk totally swamped. Passengers are confused about how to book, asking loads of questions right there at the counter.
Frozen things up.
Right. Huge crowds, slow manual processes, no proper queue. Just a mess, making everyone stressed.
A classic scenario, crying out for some HCI thinking.
So walk us through it. How would applying these HCI principles and maybe some of those technologies we discussed transform this situation for everyone involved, passengers and the clerk?
Okay, so the goal is clarity, efficiency, reducing frustration. First, tackle the bottleneck, basic ticket sales. Introduce automated ticket vending machines.
Like the ones we talked about earlier.
Exactly. Simple interface, maybe just takes coins or cards for standard tickets. This immediately offloads a huge chunk of the simple, repetitive transactions from the clerk.
Frees them up for more complex issues.
Precisely. Second, address the confusion. Put up a big, clear LCD screen. This screen shows train times, platform numbers, maybe scrolls through basic booking procedures in multiple local languages.
Proactive information.
Right. Answer the common questions before people even get to the counter. Third, manage the flow. Implement a proper queue system. The source mentions a straight line sensor system.
How would that work?
Maybe guide rails forming a line and sensors that could, I don't know, perhaps sound a small alert or flash a light if someone tries to cut in, reinforcing the single line. Makes it fair, less stressful.
Okay. Manages the physical space.
And finally, help the clerk directly. Equip their workstation properly. Maybe noise-canceling headphones to help them focus. A streamlined digital interface for handling complex bookings or inquiries quickly. Easy access to all the information they need.
So it's attacking the problem from multiple angles using HCI principles.
Exactly. Addressing information needs, streamlining tasks, managing the physical environment, and empowering the staff. Each solution focuses on making the interaction easier, faster, and less prone to error or frustration.
That really shows how practical HCI can be, turning that frustrating experience into something, well, manageable, smooth even.
That's the goal.
Now, connecting this back out, HCI isn't just about screens and complex systems like railway stations, is it? The sources suggest it's a way of thinking that can apply to, well, almost anything, even simple everyday objects.
Absolutely. That's where it gets really creative and kind of fun. The sources have these imaginative examples, pushing us to think about adding extra features or improving interactions with common items.
Like what? Give us an example.
Okay, so take a football. Basic object. But an HCI-inspired thought might be, what if playing with it generated electricity?
Whoa, yeah.
Connects the interaction, playing with a useful output. Or think about your coffee cup. Maybe the coaster it sits on could wirelessly charge your phone.
Now that I could use.
Right. Or the lid of the coffee cup could have a simple temperature indicator so you know if it's cool enough to drink.
Preventing burnt tongues. Nice.
Little improvements based on user needs and interaction. One more candles. The source imagined a candlestick holder that somehow extrudes a new candle as the old one burns down.
Okay, that's bordering on magic, but I see the point.
It's about observing an interaction, identifying a pain point or an opportunity, and designing a better way. More efficient, more useful, maybe even more delightful or surprising. Adding value through thoughtful interaction design, even to the simplest things.
It really underscores that HCI thinking is fundamentally about improving the human experience with the world around us, mediated by objects or systems.
Well put.
So we've covered a lot today. It's been quite the journey, hasn't it? From understanding where HCI came from, seeing its huge impact everywhere from ATMs to air traffic control.
And on business success, too.
Right. Then diving into the actual tools designers use, the prototyping software, graphics tools, coding environments, and seeing how it all comes together to solve real-world headaches, like that railway station example.
And even sparking ideas for innovating everyday items.
It really drives home that point you made earlier. Good design is often invisible.
It really is. It just works smoothly, safely, productively. You only tend to notice design, especially interface design, when it's bad, when it gets in your way. The goal is often for it to just disappear.
So let's leave our listeners with something to think about. Here's a final thought for you. As you go about your day today or tomorrow, actively look for an interaction you have with an object or a system. Could be anything. Your microwave, a website, a door handle that feels a bit off, slightly frustrating, inefficient, or just clumsy. And then put on your HCI hat for a moment. How could you reimagine that interaction? Applying these principles we've discussed, making it more intuitive, more efficient, maybe even more enjoyable.
Yeah.
What would your improved solution look like?
That's a great exercise.
Keep observing the design world around you with this new lens. You might be surprised at what you start to see.